Hello, everybody. We are a few minutes early today, and I did that on purpose because before we dive into the podcast today, I wanted to give a gentle trigger warning. Today's episode touches on some difficult topics, including childhood abuse and the journey of healing. If you are not in a space where you feel comfortable engaging with this subject, please know it is absolutely okay to pause and come back to this video or podcast later when you feel safe and ready to explore it. But if you or someone you know is experiencing or has experienced abuse, it's important to reach out for help. A resource you can use here in the United States is the National Child Abuse Hotline. Call 1-800-4-A-CHILD. They are available 24/7. It's confidential and anonymous. It's support for children, parents, and concerned individuals. They're staffed by professional crisis counselors trained to handle abuse, neglect, and mental health concerns. In the description of the video on YouTube and Spotify, there are additional in addition to the U.S. contact information, I have included links to multinational resources. So, hey, everybody. With that being said, welcome back to Jodee Jean Plus One, where we dive into the stories behind storytellers. Today, I have the pleasure of chatting with someone who's turning real life into raw, honest, and impactful words. Bobby Preston, one of our very own Hardys. He's also known as Guy Gone Writer. I know you've seen him in the sprints. He is always with us and fun. So I'm really excited to have him here today. I'm going to try and get through this in about 30-40 minutes or so because he has another podcast interview to get to today. Bobby is currently working on his memoir. It is a powerful story that he has to share that's been shaped by his own experiences, reflection, and the drive to tell the truth in his unique way. We're going to talk about his writing process, the tough stuff, the surprises, and everything in between. So go grab a coffee and settle in. We are about to just dive into it. And with no further ado, I want to bring on my friend, Bobby. Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you all? And hello, Jodee. How are you?
I am doing good. I am super excited to have you on today. I have
Thank you. I'm glad to
on
be here.
Good. I'm so glad you're here. I have on the dreaded fan, but Bobby, since he's always with me on Monday and Thursday nights, so he knows I'm a lady of a certain age and I have to have my fan on. So I'm
Yep,
happy. I'm happy that you're
I'm well
here.
aware of
Welcome,
that.
welcome. Well, I'm just going to dive in. Are you ready?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Are you ready?
Go for
The
it.
first one? All right. First question.
Go for
What
it.
inspired you to start writing your memoir? Was there a specific moment that pushed you to begin?
Well, I read Chrissy Metz's memoir, back in 2016 when she wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Side note, real quick: you'll hear traffic. Ignore it.
Okay.
But anyway, Chrissy Metz, the lady that was the star on This Is Us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she wrote her memoir, and it was somewhat about abuse. And I read it and bawled reading it, and that sparked something in me that said, if someone who has the fame she does just from one show that she's been on can write her story after only being on one show and have it be a tell all,
Mm-hmm.
why can't I, someone
Mm-hmm.
who is not famous, who is not trying to get famous,
Mm-hmm.
tell their story of something similar?
Yep. That's
And I think
exciting.
and I think it's unique because we all have a story. Good, bad, or ugly, we all have a story.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, at least to me, I think we all should find a way to tell our story, whether that's writing a book like I'm doing, or speaking of verbally as we're doing today, um, or any form of telling your story. And it don't have to be read by anybody else. It can just be read by you. But I think the important thing is getting words out on paper. If
Yeah.
you're writing it, get the words out on paper. And one thing I have learned is get out all your anger and emotions on paper, and then burn the paper, and leave it where it is, quote unquote, in the fire.
I love that. Leave it in the
Just,
fire.
yeah, leave it in the
Leave
fire. And
it in the fire.
I may call the book that. I may change the book name to that. I don't
I
know.
love that, Bobby. I love that. I have tears because there's so many things that I've been through too, and I've never known what to do with the emotions, and the feeling of it. So that really
Yeah, I can
resonates
see
with
you're
me.
crying.
That resonates with me. I love that. Thank you. My second question is, can you tell us a little bit about the
I'm gonna
time
have to
period?
refresh. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I freeze on you? There we go. I'll get you back in here, Bobby. He's trying, guys. He's trying. He's outside and it was fine when we first started. Um, but there we go. All right, so we can remove this one and add this one. There you are.
I'm
I was
sorry, my internet is being a pain in the butt today.
That's okay. That's okay. Um, can you tell us a little bit about the time period or events when you focused on this memoir and like the core themes that you're hoping people take away from it?
Um, my first memory is from when I was 2 years old. I won't say what the memory is. You can read it in the memoir when I publish it.
Okay.
But because I don't want to, set off any trigger warnings,
I know.
than
I
what
know.
might already be set off, with the subject.
Yeah.
So there, there's going to be some pretty heavy stuff discussed in the book, and it's a tell-all, just like Chrissy Metz's memoir. It's a tell-all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be every. I mean, from the smallest detail to the biggest detail, there's going to be everything in this book.
Okay.
So, I don't want to give away too much, but my first memory comes from when I was 2 years old.
And you were abused in that memory. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was, yeah, 2 years old. And I can see that
That's
you're crying,
tough.
and I'm sorry.
That's tough. That's tough. Well, you know me. You
Yes,
know
it
I'm a
is.
mama. I'm a mama bear at heart, especially when it comes to kids, and that's just heartbreaking for me as a mom of two and a
Yes.
stepmom of five. It's hard because, and that's why I'm just so proud of you for getting your story out there, because if it helps one other child be brave, or it helps one other adult be brave and, kind of face those fears, then, it would be worth you writing the book for. What do you think the most challenging memory to write about so far has been? Has it been the abuse, or has it been, that other family members didn't see what was happening?
A little bit of both,
Okay.
to be honest.
Hmm. A little bit of
A
both.
little bit of
Oh,
both.
a little bit of both. So it wasn't that you had like neglectful adults around you. It's just that they weren't paying attention.
Oh, I had a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay. All right. Gotcha. This is the last question on that's really memoir and past focus, and then we're going to move into your writing process and style. But this one is, how have you changed as a person while writing your story, and has anything surprised you?
I have changed in a lot of ways because I never thought that I would be one to go through the stuff that I've been through,
Hmm.
which we all go through things, but when you're going through things like I went through, it's hard to deal with, especially as you grow older. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, 2 weeks from today, I will be 31 years old, and I'm still getting memories when I was in
Oh, you
that current,
freeze it.
in the
There we
time,
go.
time, in the time of in the time of the abuse. I
Hmm.
still get memories at almost 31 years old. I still get memories of those times, but I'm learning better how to deal with those memories
Hmm.
using coping mechanisms, coping skills, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
Um, there are times that they work, and there are times that they don't,
Hmm.
and you're gonna have that regardless.
Yeah.
But you have to find your own way of coping with things.
Right.
It has to be positive. I have
Right.
found out, but
Hmm.
you have to find your own way. You have to find your own way of coping with things.
Right.
Um, and I have found some ways that have helped me cope, and
Mhm.
some ways that really don't. But like I said, you have to find your own way of coping,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it can be anything. I don't care how you cope as long as it's a positive way.
Right. Right.
And it's taken me 29 years to learn that.
Mm. Well, I'm almost 55, and I've just got to the point where I really understand how to deal with some of the trauma from my past. Now, fortunately, I have probably the best parents on the planet and the best family on the planet. So I'm very blessed in that way. But I did have some abuse from a domestic partner in my early 20s. And I, unfortunately, did not cope with it in a good way. I was drinking very heavily in my mid to late 20s. And a dear friend who is still a dear friend, my ex husband, I know that sounds weird, he was really able to help me see that the way I was coping was not a good one. So, your book and the way that you're writing it about healthy coping mechanisms, I hope that that helps someone that was in the position I was in, because there were really
Yes.
no self help books back then. So, that's my wish on the memoir for you, that it will help somebody out of the dark. Yeah. All right.
If I may, can I
Writing?
quote a line from my memoir?
Yes, go. I want to hear it.
Um, I put a line in there that says, "It doesn't matter who you tell, as long as you tell. Just tell someone, a trusted friend,
Hmm.
a pastor, anyone, as long as you tell.
Right.
And don't be afraid if they tell on the person, because they are protecting you." Because, and I said that in the book. I'm saying that in the book, and I say that to say this: your secret will get told eventually,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not because there's someone trying to get back at you, or this or that or the other. It's because
Hmm.
someone actually cares enough to tell, because they want to protect you.
Yes. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
again, it's taken me 30 years. It's taken me 30 years to learn that, but the lady that reported the abuse that I went through, I didn't know for many, many years that it was her that had reported it, but she finally confessed to it one day, and she was afraid to tell me, and she told me, and she said, I was afraid to tell you because I thought you would be mad. I said, look, you saved me. Why would I have any reason to be mad?
Yeah.
And here's why I said that. I was on the verge of death. At 6.5 years old, I was on the verge of death.
Oop, you froze.
I wouldn't be getting ready to turn 31 in 2 weeks.
Mm. It froze again. There you go.
Did we freeze?
Just for a minute, but I can hear you
Did you?
again now. I can hear you now.
Okay.
And it froze
Saying
again.
was the lady that. Can you hear me?
Off and on. Yeah, it's a little choppy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My internet is cruddy today.
It's okay. We'll get through it.
Maybe it'll be better once we, maybe it won't be as bad as it is right now when we get done.
Mhm.
Or maybe you can edit the video and it won't be as bad. But anyway, the lady that I told what was going on,
Mhm.
she told what was going on to CPS.
Okay.
And I didn't know that for many, many years. And she finally confessed to it one day. And she told me she was afraid to tell me that she had told because she was afraid that I would be mad at her. And it was over Facebook. And I said, look, you saved me. Why would I have any reason to be mad?
Mhm.
Because I was on the verge of death, Jodee.
Mm.
6.5 years old and 1 month away from dying if I had been in the home any longer.
Oh, bless your heart, honey. Bless your heart. All right.
That's literally what that is literally what the doctor said. When I'm sorry.
Bless your heart.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. I'm just a big old mama bear that wishes I could go back in time and save you.
Mama bear, huh?
Mama, what? Hey, it's official. They bought me the cup and everything. Hmm. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna get me a drink real quick. Hold on.
Okay, you go ahead.
I'm gonna get me a drink real quick.
That's fine. And then we will jump into your writing process and style. Um,
Okay, go for it.
all right, here we go. How do you approach writing, and is it like a routine or is it more spontaneous?
It's a little bit of both. Especially when it comes to my memoir.
Okay.
Like I'll have something that'll trigger a memory or something 1 minute, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to write about this and get it in the book."
Yeah.
Because, like I said in the beginning, it's a tell-all. So it's gonna have
Okay.
everything from beginning of life to up to me getting ready to turn 31 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
To which I feel old, by the way. Um,
Oh, if I could be 31 again.
right.
Exactly. Mm.
But no. My writing process has been hard.
Mhm.
It has been therapeutic, but hard
Mhm.
because there's so much that I feel needs to be told,
Mhm.
and then there's so much that I'm like, does this really need to be in the book? Does this not? You know, it's like you
Mhm.
question yourself,
Right.
like everybody
Yeah.
questions himself on everything else.
Yes.
So of course, why wouldn't you question yourself on what should or shouldn't be in a book?
Right.
I mean, really,
Absolutely. Yeah.
especially when it's a tell-all.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
And go ahead.
I was going to just ask, when you're writing those, it sounds to me like, and this is answering some of our questions, because the next one was about leaving things in or taking things out, but you've said it's going to be a tell-all, so you're really not leaving anything out. And
No.
the memoir that really spoke to you was Christine Metz. That was
Yes.
another question I had that you've already answered.
Excuse
Um,
me.
it
She
it
named it
kind
actually. She kind of took the name "This Is Us"
uh huh.
and and turned her memoir into This Is Me. So she kind of took the name of the show and just took the word us and changed it into
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
So I
I'm
thought that, I thought that was kind of neat.
that is really cool. But did you, it sounds to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, are you writing the book chronologically, or are you kind of having to jump around because when the memory hits, you need to write it down? So you're going to have to kind of piece it back together. Will it be in chronological order, or are the
I'm
chapters going to
doing a
kind
little
of
bit of
be?
both. I'm
Okay.
doing a little bit of both.
Okay.
Like, like I said, there'll be a memory that hits me, and I'm like, "Ooh, I got to write this down in the book before I
Mm-hmm.
forget it." And it may not
Right.
be in order right now, but I am planning on having it in order from first memory up to now,
Okay.
up to me being getting ready to turn 31 here in a couple of weeks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But so it will be in order.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm right now just the way I'm doing it, writing it
Mm-hmm.
out. I'm writing it as whatever comes to me when it comes to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm gonna have it put in order later.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So it won't be how you handle different topics. It will be a true memoir that's going to be chronological once you get
Yes,
it ready to publish. Okay.
yes,
Perfect.
yes.
I understand
And
now.
I'm self-publishing. I saw that was one of the questions.
Yes, yes. I if you need any help, I can help you with that. That
Okay,
I know. I
perfect.
tried traditional publishing and I was traditional published, and but I did not like releasing my babies into the wild, and it did not work out for me.
Right,
So my husband kind of had to help me get the rights to my book back, and he did because he's awesome. You,
right,
well,
right.
yeah, y'all all know everybody. Dan, my husband, has his own fan club.
Oh,
This
really?
one, this one is a reflection on life, and it might be a tough one for you. But if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't let the bad memories ruin you
Okay.
because, and I know we're on YouTube, but I'm just gonna be flat out. Life
Mhm.
is hell sometimes,
Yes.
but you have to realize, and I'm not trying to get religious here, but you have to realize there is someone out there watching for you,
Yep.
watching you and watching for you, watching out for
Hmm.
you, however you want to say that. And that's for all the religious ones out there. But,
Hmm.
if that's not your belief, that's fine.
Hmm.
Um, but just remember, you do have people that are backing you, that are supporting you, that are behind you 100,000%, whatever.
Hmm.
And then you're going to have ones that are total jerks.
Yep.
And that's putting it nicely. That's putting it nicely.
Yep. Yep.
But you're going to have ones that are complete jerks that they don't want to acknowledge. Sorry, now I'm starting to cry.
I'm
Um,
sorry, buddy.
you're fine. Um, you're gonna have people that don't want to acknowledge the truth, as
Hmm.
is as was my case, as
Hmm.
was in my case. I don't know
Hmm.
how to phrase that, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I do. We do.
Um, like my birth mother, for instance, when I brought up something to her one time, she flat out told me that I was a liar, that it wasn't true unless she was around. Which, let's be honest, pissed me off.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I've not spoken to her since. I've not spoken to
Mm,
her since, and that was almost 10 years ago,
mm, 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 mm.
and it was on Facebook
Oh
of
God.
all places. Yeah, and I'll tell you
Mhm.
exactly what it was. It was my birthday of all days. She messaged me, happy birthday, I love you, I miss you, yada yada yada, a bunch of crap that I
Mhm.
knew wasn't true,
Mhm.
and I just dove right in and started asking her questions. I said, "Hey, look, I've got some questions for you about stuff that I need answered." Because I was starting therapy at the time, but I wasn't consistent with it. And
Right.
That's the other thing I talk about in the book, or we'll be talking about in the book. Um, you have to be consistent with something in order for it to work,
Right.
or to find
I
out if
learned
it
that.
or to find out if it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
only way you're going to find out if something works or doesn't work is if you're consistent.
Right.
If it doesn't work after, say, a year, 2 years, 3 years, stop.
Mm-hmm.
But give it enough time to say, hey, is this actually working, or am I just being a stubborn person and not wanting to acknowledge
Right.
stuff that needs to be acknowledged?
Right.
Because just like you, I went down a path back in 2016 where I started drinking alcohol for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I drank, I got so drunk that I tried to kill myself.
Oh.
Trigger warning right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried to kill myself, and I was found. I I hadn't completely went, but I was almost gone when they
Mm-hmm.
found me. And they woke me up, and I looked. I was laying down, and I looked around, and I said, What's going on? What am I doing?" And I felt something around my neck. I didn't know what I'd done, but I knew I'd done something.
Okay.
Um, and I felt something around my neck. That's how I knew I'd done something. And the lady told me, well, how she, how she found me, what was on me, what not. And she's she called the ambulance. They came and got me, took me to the hospital. I ended up in the hospital, um, about 2 hours away from where I live, and they kept me for about a week or two. And the withdrawal from the alcohol was enough to make me not want to drink again. So, from New Year's Eve 2016 up until now, I've not had alcohol, not even a sip.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped cold turkey. They say not to do that, but I stopped cold turkey. I
Yeah.
said, if I'm doing it one way, I'm stopping cold turkey. I don't care.
I did too. I did too.
But
I did too.
but the withdrawal, oh my God, Jodee, the withdrawal was terrible.
The shakes, the hot, the headache.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
it was terrible.
Is there a chapter or scene in your memoir that you're like most proud of? A scene maybe you've already written out?
I haven't actually written it out yet, but the
Mm-hmm.
part that I'm most proud of, well,
Mm-hmm.
there's actually several parts that I'm proud of, but the part that I'm most proud of is that
Mm-hmm.
I survived it to be able to tell my story.
Yeah. That's something to be very proud of. It's a survivor's memoir. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a survivor's memoir. That's the reason I love
yes.
Leave It in the Fire. Leave It in the Fire. That's incredible.
I may steal
So,
that and name my book that. I
yeah,
don't know yet.
I think you should use that. That's amazing. I know you answered this question for me already. You are definitely going to self-publish. Is there a reason that you decided to do that? Is it because you wanted to have total control, or you just want to get it out there? What's your reasoning behind that decision?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, you froze.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I know that you answered me about self-publishing. You are going to self-publish, but are
Yes.
you going okay, so are you doing that to have control over your story, or are you doing it for another reason, not going traditional?
Traditional is way too expensive. Sorry for anyone that likes traditional, but it's way too expensive, and I don't
Mhm.
have the funds to do it.
Okay.
But so I'm going self publishing through
Mhm.
Amazon KDP, which is a lot
Okay.
cheaper.
Yep.
And to get the rights here where I live is not that expensive.
Okay.
So I can copyright for pretty cheap,
Okay.
and it not cost me $1 million.
Right. Right.
So I'm gonna go. the KDP route and get my stuff copyrighted, so
Okay.
that way when it's out there, no one can steal anything that's in
Right.
the story without me saying, hey, you can use this for whatever reason or whatever.
Right. Right.
Because like I said in the beginning, we all have our own story, and you don't want someone to use your story when they don't need to be using it.
Own it. Yeah. It's not their story to use.
Yeah, yeah. The only
Exactly.
story that
Get them.
exactly the only story that a person should own is their own story. Just like I'm owning my story.
Exactly.
Hey,
Hmm.
own your own.
I love that. I love that. Well, what is next? Like after your memoir, what are you writing? What genre are you going into? What are you thinking about? Tell me everything.
I have, and you're probably gonna love this, but you may not. I don't know, but I have a murder mystery going as well.
You know I love murder mystery. You know me
Well, you
long
may
enough
not
to
like.
know you had me at murder mystery.
Well,
We're
you may
having
not
too much.
like this because it's actually a child murder mystery. It's
Oh
actually a child murder mystery.
no. Oh no,
So you may
no,
not like that,
no.
but
Don't kill the puppy and don't kill the kid. No, those kill me. Those stories kill me, but no.
don't kill the puppy. I love that. Don't
Don't
kill the
kill the
puppy.
puppy.
I love that.
Don't kill the puppy. I may have to use that as a title. I don't know. I don't know. But so so it's a murder mystery. Where is it set? I mean, is it like right now? What's it about? Without giving too
I
much
haven't
away. I
really
don't want you to give your
decided
plot away.
on. I haven't really decided on like if it's futuristic or
Hmm.
current or past or whatever. But I do
Hmm.
know it's going to be set where I was born, which is
Okay.
Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Okay.
Um, Other than that, I don't really have many of the details worked out yet.
Okay. All right. Well, that it does sound intriguing. You may have to like sit
Yeah,
with me while I read that first part of the book and be like, "It's okay. It's just a story, Jodee. It's okay. You'll be
yeah, I know,
fine."
right, right, right.
So this is my last question. We did it. We made it through. Do you have a landing site yet? Where can people follow your journey and stay up to date in your writing process? Do you have a Facebook, YouTube? Give me all the details.
I
If
do
you
have
don't have
Facebook.
them,
I have Facebook. I have Facebook,
hmm
Twitter, YouTube, or X as they call it now. I don't
hmm
know why they changed the name of it. I think it's stupid, but I have Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube,
okay,
which I'm getting ready to actually put up a trailer on my YouTube channel about the book that I'm writing.
okay,
And I may
awesome.
I may call it "Leave It in the Fire." I don't know. I
Okay.
I'm kind of like that's kind of running around in my head right now. Like that sounds really good. Leave it in the fire and have like a
Hmm.
paper on the front cover and flames coming
Yes,
off the paper.
yes, I
You're
love it.
giving me ideas.
Or like a fireplace that has paper laying in it that's on fire, and
Yes,
then superimposed over it, leave it in the fire.
yes, yes. That sounds really good.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yes,
That this has been amazing. I had such a good time talking to you today. This is so much
this has
fun.
been
Make
great.
sure you email me all of those links so I can go back in and add them into the description so people can just click on them and get to you on
Okay,
YouTube and on Spotify, because I'm going to go ahead and get those going in a few minutes. But
okay.
yeah, this has been incredible. Thank you so much. This has been
Well,
amazing.
thank you for having me, and I hope to have you on my podcast soon.
Oh boy, that would be so much fun.
And
Awesome.
yes, that's an invitation.
Okay, I'm coming. You tell me when, and I will show up.
All right, we'll talk about it and we'll get it scheduled.
Okay, yeah, just to put it in that email you got to send me anyway about where we're about your links that I got to put
Okay,
in. But
I can do that.
all right, so everybody
I can do
knows
that.
everybody knows what I'm going to say before I say it, but I'm going to say it
Yep.
anyway. Thank y'all for coming today. I appreciate y'all more than you'll ever know. Thank you for sitting down with Bobby and me. But I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a particular group of people's double shot of whiskey. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud that you showed up here with us today and that you find me and Bobby just right. We will see you later. Bye.